Welcome to Assembly News Now. This is multimedia editor Jennifer Pierce, and here's what's happening with product assembly on March 4th. A defense contractor invests big in Ohio. Stellantis commits to reopening an Illinois assembly plant. Korean researchers invent a better gripper. And for our top story, EVs impress visitors at the Chicago Auto Show. And finally, a new machine can feed parts of different shapes and sizes. These Assembly News Now stories after a brief message from our sponsor, Motion Index Drives, a leading manufacturer of rotary, linear, and multi-axis precision indexing devices. Motion Index Drives. Rotary index tables, precision link conveyors, weld positioning systems, tool tray shuttles, robot transfer units, and much more through your customized specifications. Learn more at www.motionindexdrives.com. Defense contractor Anduril Industries will invest nearly $1 billion to build a new assembly plant in central Ohio. The factory will span 5 million square feet and could eventually employ 4,000 people. Anduril makes rocket motors, drones, and autonomous underwater vehicles. At full capacity, the factory will produce thousands of systems annually. Production is set to begin in July 2026. Stellantis has again pledged to reopen its assembly plant in Belvidere, Illinois, northwest of Chicago. The factory, which opened in 1965, was mothballed in February 2023. More than 1,000 people were laid off. 8 months later, Stellantis agreed to reopen the factory as part of a new deal with the United Auto Workers Union. But last summer, Stellantis said it would delay the reopening due to declining sales. When the UAW protested, the delay became an issue in the November election. Finally, in January, Stellantis reaffirmed its commitment to reopen the factory in 2027 to build a new mid-sized truck. Researchers have developed a robotic gripper that can pick up multiple objects, move them all at once, and then place them back down, one at a time, just like a person, called MoGrip. The gripper was invented by engineers at Seoul National University in Korea. Most grippers can only pick up one thing at a time. In contrast, people can grasp individual items with their fingers and hold them in their palms. The MoGrip mimics that activity. It picks up parts and transfers them to a mechanical palm that consists of 2 small conveyors. Parts are sandwiched between the belts. The belts move in one direction to store parts and the opposite direction to feed them back out. Compared to picking and placing parts one at a time, the MoGrip reduces cycle time by 34%. And now for today's top story. For automotive enthusiasts, winter can only mean one thing: auto show season. OEMs display their latest models and technologies, and drivers get a chance to see the cars of the future. Not surprisingly, EVs are gaining more attention. Here to tell us more is senior editor Austin Weber.
Despite all the threats and policy changes coming out of Washington these days, electric vehicles aren't going away. If anything, battery power is here to stay and will become even more prominent on the roads and highways of America. Last year, a record 1.3 million EVs were sold in the U.S., representing 8% of total auto sales. With 15 new products scheduled to hit the market in 2025, EV sales are projected to account for around 10% of demand this year. A good bellwether of consumer sentiment is the annual Chicago Auto Show, which just wrapped up its 10-day run at McCormick Place. The oldest and largest event of its type in the United States was filled with EVs and battery buzz, including 2 test tracks devoted exclusively to more than 20 models of electric cars. New vehicles on display included the Jeep Wagoneer S and the Dodge Daytona Charger, the first all-electric models offered by those Stellantis brands. And speaking of that company, it's celebrating the 100th anniversary of Chrysler this year with a stunning concept car called the Halcyon, an electric luxury sedan powered by an 800-volt lithium-sulfur battery. Then there was Rivian, which displayed next-generation battery-powered SUVs at the Chicago Auto Show, such as the R2 and the R3X. Other startup EV companies attracting plenty of buzz on the show floor included Lucid, Polestar, Tesla, and VinFast. And another thing that bodes well for the future of EVs is a recent announcement from Volkswagen. It plans to build an entry-level EV that will be priced around $20,000. That exciting news will undoubtedly raise a few eyebrows at competitors such as Ford, GM, Hyundai, and Toyota, eager to lure buyers who have shied away from the historically high cost of EVs. Now back to you, Jennifer.
Thanks, Austin. And finally, ARS Automation has introduced a more compact version of its FlexiBowl parts feeder for automated assembly lines. Parts are fed onto a disc by one or more hoppers. The device uses a gentle pulsing action and short rotational movements to position parts for pickup by a vision-guided robot. The feeder comes in 6 sizes. The newest and smallest is the FlexiBowl 200, which is designed to handle parts ranging from 1 to 10 millimeters long. It is 25% shorter and 50% slimmer than other models in the series. That's all for this edition of Assembly News Now. For all the latest news on assembly technology, visit assemblymag.com and follow us on social media. Thanks for watching, and tune in next month for another installment of Assembly News Now.